This is so cool. I just downloaded a .D81 disk image from the file host to my Mac and put it on my MEGA65. Only there was no SD card involved in that process of making that transition from the Mac to the MEGA65. How did I do it? Well, you're going to find out in this edition of retroCombs. So one of the features I miss on my MEGA65 dev kit was that ability to connect my MEGA65 to my Mac via a USB cable. And when I did that, I had access to tools such as M65 Connect or even command line tools such as M65 or MEGA65 FTP. These tools do a lot of things, but the primary thing they did was allow me to manage my SD card from my Mac without removing it from the MEGA65, transferring it over, causing possible errors when I transfer it back and having all just fraught with all kinds of errors. Being able to connect via serial cable from my Mac to my MEGA65 is a game changer. Now you can get that capability for your MEGA65, but you have to purchase a JTAG adapter from Trends. The problem is that thing's $49. Well, that's not really the problem. The real problem is there's a 52-week wait for that thing to get into stock. So how did we overcome this problem? Well, we just purchased a $12 DSD Tech USB to TTL serial adapter with FTDI. And when we connect our Mac to our MEGA65 with that device, we get many of the capabilities that we would have with the JTAG adapter. Let's talk about how to get that thing installed on our MEGA65. Hey, but before we do, I need to issue a warning. We are going to remove the top of our MEGA65. We are going to plug things in to the board where the FPGA is connected. Now, however, the risk is low. The big thing that we're concerned with, and we'll talk about it, is making sure that you're operating the USB adapter in 3.3 volt mode, and we'll show you how to do that in a little bit. All right, with that disclaimer out of the way, let's learn how to connect the two devices. But before we do, did you know you can support retroCombs, my channel and my blog, through www.buymeacoffee.com/retrocombs, and you can become a producer like these folks. Or if you want to add even more value to your dollar, you can become an executive producer like these folks. Check out my Buy Me a Coffee page to find out what you get at a bunch of fun levels that are Commodore inspired, all the way from VIC-20 all the way up to MEGA65, and there's a Discord channel involved in the process, so be sure and check that out. It goes without saying, but I'll say it again, there is a companion blog post that contains all the information, all the links you need for this project. You'll find that companion blog post's link in the video description below. Hey, while you're down there looking at that video description, don't forget to hit like, thanks, subscribe, alerts, all that business down below. And hey, don't forget that little thank you button down there too. That's a nice way to thank me if you've learned something new from this video. All right, let's unbox that adapter and see what we have inside. First of all, you'll notice that we have an instruction manual in various languages. You really don't need it for this project. You can set that aside. You'll also find a 6-strand header jumper wire connector. We're going to use that. We also have the most important part of this box, the USB to TTL serial adapter. All right, now that we have this thing out of the box, let's install the adapter on our MEGA65. So to get us started, here's a great image of the pinouts to connect the adapter to the MEGA65. Connections are made by pressing both female ends of the cable onto the header pins of both the MEGA65 and the serial adapter itself. Now we're only going to use 3 of the 6 wires from the loose end of the connector. The black or ground, the green, which is the TXD or transmit, and the blue, which is the RXD or receive. The rest of the cables I just bend back out of the way from the cable. Now to make sure we orient the cable properly, plug the red cable into the VCC connector. Now that's voltage. We are not going to use that voltage line. However, that is a good way to orient this cable so that we know that the other colors, black, green, and blue, line up with the headers on the USB adapter. This is very, very important. There is a jumper on the serial connector that you need to ensure you set properly. The adapter must be set to 3.3 volts. There is a jumper on the device, you can see it here, used to switch between 3.3 volts and 5 volts. Now, once we do that, we can go ahead and connect our jumper wires. Let's talk about that. All right, so the ground is the easiest one, so let's go ahead and connect that. Okay, so there's the black wire. RXD is green, so we'll do green next. And then TXD is blue, and that one gets skipped a jumper. It doesn't go right next to it, it skips over. See that we skip this pin right here and it goes right here. And there we go. And you can see everything plugged in. Now I can route this out through the cartridge port. That is not going to be a good long-term solution. I could use one of the punch outs, but you know, I'm not really ready to start mucking around with my MEGA65 case. It's too new. It's got that new MEGA65 smell, and I'm having a hard time even thinking about punching any holes in it. And this is what my connection looks like. Hey, I get it. It's not a great final solution, but you know it works, and the features I get because it's working, I can live with this for now. Let me go ahead and plug this in. Let's go ahead and turn on the MEGA65 and make sure everything works. As long as it boots up, we know that we've probably connected it properly. Now, the first tool we're going to use is M65Connect. It is a GUI, not a command line tool. We'll talk about those in a minute, and it's available on Mac, Windows, and Linux. I need to put this disclaimer out there. There's a lot of things you can do with M65Connect. I'm just giving you a smattering to hint at the possibilities of what you can do with your MEGA65 connected to your PC. But you're going to want to explore this tool even further. But here's some fun things just to get you started. And the first thing we want to do is capture which serial device we're connected to and even see if there is a connection. So let's go ahead and list our available FTDI devices. You'll see it says devices found 1, so that's good. So let's go to our settings, let's go to connection, and you'll notice that we have on a Mac, we have these settings right here. Now, the one that I'm looking at is not Bluetooth, so it's not either one of these, so that is the address for that serial adapter. That is an important thing to capture because we're going to need that with the command line tools later. Now, if you are having problems identifying, you can use this auto detect COM port wizard to help you through it. We're not going to do that for this video. Okay, I've just turned on my MEGA65, and let's see if we can connect the MEGA65 to M65Connect. First thing I'm going to try is to take a screenshot. Right now you'll see that I have a black screen with a flashing cursor. Let's go ahead and click this screenshot button, and you'll see we have a screenshot. So we have a good connection from our Mac to our MEGA65. Now we can save that screenshot if we want, and you can see I've saved a lot of screenshots in my time. Now the final step of the process would be simply to click this Save As button, and then you can save that screen capture to any location on your Mac. Let's try something else. I'm going to come down here and click on Keyboard. And you'll see that I get an on display keyboard. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to my Mac and I'm going to start typing. Now you'll notice that whatever is happening in that little window is also happening on the MEGA65. So I've typed 10 print. There we go. I have used my Mac keyboard to input lines of code to my MEGA65. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit run stop over here on my Mega to stop that. Now, the next thing we want to do is see if we can view the contents of our SD card using M65Connect. That's an easy step. Let's try that one. That simply is a matter of coming up here to this button that says, believe it or not, SD card. We'll press that, and you'll see it takes a second to load here. And there's the contents of our SD card. How handy is that? And you'll see we have some features over here. We can get some information. We can mount an SD card directly to the MEGA65. That's pretty handy. But what I want to do first is I want to copy a .D81 disk image over to the SD card again without removing the SD card from the MEGA65 and moving it over to the Mac. All we do is we locate that file. Now, in my particular case, this happens to be on my desktop, which is a shortcut kind of right here. It is this file right here, badmoonrising.d81. This is a C64 game. It's a modern C64 game, and I want to move that over to the MEGA65. So I'm going to press this button right here, and you'll see it'll take a little bit of time. You'll see our status bar here telling us how much time we have. You'll notice we're flickering on the MEGA65, which shows that we're uploading, and you'll see that it is complete. And there is that disk image. Now, if I want to mount that disk image, I just simply click Mount. You'll see on my MEGA65, it says that it has been mounted. Let's go ahead and close our connection. Let's go ahead and type dir, and you'll see that that disk image has been not only copied to my SD card, but also mounted and ready to go. So that was M65 Connect, and that is a great GUI tool. But what if you're a little more hacky, a little more terminal type of guy or gal? You can use the command line tools. Now, I have a whole video on how to install the command line tools. Now, full disclosure, I am not a power user of the command line tools that I'm going to show you, but I'm learning a lot, and I know that it has many more uses than what I'm sharing with you. Let's take a look at the things you can do with the first command line tool, M65. Now, to use the command line tools, I don't need M65 Connect. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. But what I do need is a terminal. In my case, I use iTerm for the Mac, and I have it kind of themed to kind of look like a Commodore 64. All right, now with the terminal, I do have to navigate to the tools. So let me see what we have here. And you'll see that I have M65 tools here. So I'm going to change my directory to MEGA65 tools. And if we look inside, you'll see that we have a lot of tools, but what we're focused on are the tools in the bin directory. So I'm gonna go in and type in bin, do ls, and there's that M65 and MEGA65 FTP. Remember that example I showed how you could use M65 Connect to type directly to your MEGA65? We can do that with the command line tools as well. So first of all, we actually have the command itself. We do a // to execute the command M65.osx because it's on the Mac. We're going to do this particular tag here, which is the tag L, which indicates that we're going to use a serial line. And this is the one we use, /dev/cu.usb serial. Remember this? This is what we found. This is that address we found in M65 Connect. And once I have that in there, I'm going to add an additional bit of code afterwards. I'm going to say $T for type, and then we're going to type 10 print 1 + 1 close. Now watch what happens on my MEGA65 when I hit return. You'll notice that it typed that line of code and entered it. I can come over here and type list to verify, and you see that that line of code is in there. Now you'll notice on M65 that was immediate after each character. The command line tools require you to type the entire line, hit return, and then it enters. So that's the difference. But can I type continuously like we did with M65 Connect? We can using this command. -T followed by a dash. Now when I hit this, watch what happens in my terminal. And you'll notice that it's trying to display the MEGA65 screen. There's some other things that we can do with that, but we're not going to talk. There's a little teaser for you. We're not going to talk about it in this video. However, we can now go back and type on the Mac keyboard and have those keystrokes transferred to the MEGA65 continuously like we did with M65 Connect. So I can type 10 using our previous example. Print. Now you'll notice over on the MEGA65 that it is typing 1 + 1. Hit enter, type run, and there you go. So we're using our Mac to type into the MEGA65. Now that's just fun. I don't care who you are. Hey, remember that example I shared at the very beginning of the video? We're finally here. I'm going to show you how I can use a command line tool to grab a file from the files host and load it directly to the MEGA65 using my command line tools. And here's the command line tool we need. It is the MEGA65_FTP, in my case, .osx. Now after that, I'm going to add the -L to connect it to our serial line cable and the address. Now I just copied and pasted that in. You know, it'd be great to add some kind of shortcut if you're a text expander user, knowing that you're going to need this on a regular basis, is to make a text expander snippet with that address, which is something I've done because I'm geeky that way. Now, once we press enter, that will make a connection to the MEGA65. Okay, there we go. We have our connection to the MEGA65, and you can see on our MEGA65, it's showing that the transfer helper is now active, much like it looked when we connected using M65 Connect. And MEGA65 FTP has its own list of FTP commands. The first one we're going to do is type dir to see a listing of the contents on our SD card on our MEGA65. That's pretty quick. Now the next thing I'm going to do is list the files on the file host. And you can see we have a whole list of 129 D81 images, program image files, things that you can download using MEGA65 FTP. Hey, but take a look at number 96. Number 96 is the MEGA65 Colors Basic Demo. I sure would like to have that on my SD card. How can I do that? Well, that's just simply an FH file host get followed by the number. In my case, that's 96. We press return. Now it's grabbing that file from the files host. You'll notice it's flashing over on the file transfer helper, and it's transferring that .d81 disk image to my SD card from my Mac. Now, how do I know it's on there? That's right, dir. And if we look right here, here is that disk image uploaded, ready to roll on my MEGA65. Let's go ahead and exit out of the FTP host. I'm going to go ahead and hit the restore button. Let's go back to 0 and let's see if we can find that .d81 disk image. And there it is. So we'll go ahead and load that. Hit F3, load the program. And there we go. There's my MEGA65 color palette program that you can use on your MEGA65. Man, that is sweet. And if you're interested in all the commands, all the things that you can do, simply type help. Hey, you see that one command? Mount. We can pull up our directory, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this name right here, and I'm going to type mount. I'm going to paste that. I'm going to hit enter. And now, if I type exit, let's see if that's mounted on our MEGA65. And there it is. So again, you could use that tool to do multiple things at once. It's really a great tool. I hope that you're now inspired to explore M65Connect and the command line tools. So this adapter really is a must for any MEGA65 user, and I encourage you to go out and get one of these. Remember, everything you need is on the companion blog post. Need to install that command line tool? Here's the video you need with all of those instructions. Want to master your MEGA65 keyboard? Check out this other video. And that completes this episode of retroCombs. retroCombs out.